Welcome, dear friends, and may God bless us as we listen to our program Saint of the Day, a program in which we hear about the lives of saints and try to imitate them so that we meet them one day in heaven. I welcome those who are here for the first time. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. That will be part of our own evangelization. Today, December 5th, 2025, we're going to hear about Saint Sabbas the Sanctified. He was a monk and a priest. This is a male name of Aramaic origin and means old man or grandfather. Born in Kayseri in Cappadocia about the year 439 AD, Saint Sabas is one of the most highly regarded patriarchs among the monks of Palestine and is considered one of the founders of Eastern monasticism. After an unhappy childhood in which he was abused and ran away several times, Saint Sabas finally sought refuge in a monastery. While family members tried to persuade him to return home, the young boy felt drawn to monastic life. Although the youngest monk in the house, he excelled in virtue. At age 18, he traveled to Jerusalem seeking to learn more about living in solitude. Soon he asked to be accepted as a disciple of a well-known local solitary, though initially he was regarded as too young to live completely as a hermit. Initially, Sabas lived in a monastery where he worked during the day and spent much of the night in prayer. At the age of 30, he was given permission to spend 5 days each week in a nearby remote cave, engaging in prayer and manual labor in the form of weaving baskets. Following the death of his mentor, St. Eutymius, St. Sabas moved further into the desert near Jericho. There he lived for several years in a cave near the brook Cedron. A rope was his means of access. Wild herbs among the rocks were his food. Occasionally, men brought him other food and items, while he had to go a distance for his water. Some of these men came to him desiring to join him in his solitude. At first, he refused, but not long after relenting, his followers swelled to more than 150, all of them living in individual huts grouped around a church called a laura. The bishop persuaded a reluctant Sabas, then in his early 50s, to prepare for the priesthood so that he could better serve his monastic community in leadership. While functioning as abbot among a large community of monks, he felt ever called to live the life of a hermit. Throughout each year, consistently in Lent, he left his monks for long periods of time, often to their distress. A group of 60 men left the monastery, settling at a nearby ruined facility. When Sabas learned of the difficulties they were facing, he generously gave them supplies and assisted in the repair of their church. Over the years, Saint Sabas traveled throughout Palestine, preaching the true faith and successfully bringing back many to the church. At 91, in response to a plea from the Patriarch of Jerusalem, Sabas undertook a journey to Constantinople in conjunction with the Samaritan revolt and its violent repression. He fell ill and soon after his return died at the monastery at Mar Saba on December 5, 532 at the age of 93. Today, the monastery is still inhabited by monks of the Eastern Orthodox Church, and Saint Sabas is regarded as one of the most noteworthy figures of early monasticism. Dear friends, let us be open or attentive to recognize the need of others of us, especially spiritual needs, and why not corporal ones. We should immediately strategize how to meet the needs. Let us pray in song, Church Mary, number 105. Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. When I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. Now enter into the home of my Father. When I was homeless, you opened your door. When I was naked, you gave me your coat. Now enter into the home of my Father. When I was weary, you helped me find rest. When I was anxious, you calmed all my fears. Now enter into the home of my Father. When I was little, you taught me to read. When I was lonely, you gave me your love. Now enter into the home of my Father. When in a prison, you came to my cell. When on a sick bed, you cared for my needs. Now enter into the home of my Father. When I was aged, you bothered to smile. When I was restless, you listened and cared. Now enter into the home of my Father. Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. When I was laughed at, you stood by my side. When I was happy, you shared in my joy. Now enter into the home of my Father. Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. I thank everyone who joined in the singing, either by humming or actively singing. Do you remember this equation? S1 equals P3. So be it. God bless us all, and everyone have a blissful weekend. And this has been Grandma Eliza. Thank you once more. And let us always remember to say thank you to God every single day.